Hey guys, welcome back to the Music Hole. My name is Cole, and today we're going back to 1984 to talk about one of my favorite new wave bands of all time, The Pretenders. And this is their third album called Learning to Crawl, and I think it's definitely one of their best albums. Chrissie Hynde is just a really good songwriter, and it really shows in this album in particular. So I'm really excited to talk about these songs with you guys. So I hope you find it interesting. I've got some clips lined up as usual, so let's jump right in with track 1, which is called Middle of the Road.
Middle of the road, he's trying to find me. I'm standing in the middle of life with my pants behind me. I got a smile for everyone I meet, as long as you don't try dragging my bag or dropping the bomb on my street. Now come on, baby, get in the road. Come on now, in the middle of the road, yeah.
Yeah, I love this song. It's so energetic, it's so catchy, and the lyrics are great, right? Because she's in the middle of the road in her life with her plans behind her, as she says. So what that means to me is she had all these dreams and ambitions that just were never achieved, right? So her life is like middle of the road. It's like not great, but not bad either, you know? And another great line that she says is, as long as you don't try dragging my bay, I've got a smile for everyone I meet, right? So it sounds like she has a lot of skeletons in her closet, so to speak, right? She probably did a lot of things she's not proud of, and she's just trying to like basically forget they happened. She's trying to not bring them up with people. She's hoping that the skeletons don't come out of the closet and ruin her life. So, you know, we don't know what she did, but she's definitely not happy about it. She's definitely not proud. So at the moment, she's just middle of the road. Just, it's totally okay. Nothing special going on. But again, I think this was a single. It definitely sounds like one. It's just very memorable, and it's a great way to start learning to crawl. But that's all I want to say about it. So let's move on to another excellent song, track 2, which is called Back on the Chain Gang.
Of you, oh, what hijacked my world at night, to a place in the past we've been cast out of. Oh, now we're back in the fight. We're back on the train. Chain gang.
Yeah, I really love this song. It's just got such a great melody. You know, Chrissie Hynde, her vocal performances on these songs really stand out, in my opinion. They're really special. And I love the lyrics of the song because they're so relatable. You know, it sounds like she was probably, she probably managed to forget an ex that she really loved. You know, maybe they were together for a really long time, but she found a picture of him, and now all these memories are flooding back to her, and she's not happy about it, because as she says, right, she's now back on the train, back on the chain gang, So like her life is now chained back to the memories of this guy that she used to be with, right? She broke free of the chain gang at some point, but now her life is thrown back into chaos a little bit because she's remembering her love. Unfortunately, right? She probably wasn't even like expecting to find this photograph. So yeah, this poor woman, she's back on the chain gang, right? This happened to everybody, you know, especially like if you hear through word of mouth about an ex, or if you see them pop up on Facebook somehow through like, you know, a friend or something. All sorts of things can happen. So I've definitely gotten back on my own chain gang in my own life. But anyway, that's all I want to say about it. So let's move on to track 3, which is a personal favorite of mine. It's called Time the Avenger.
I thought the time was on your side, but not Time the Avenger. Permanent. Everything's on loan here. Even your wife and kids could be gone next year. And with what you have left, you'll be forever under pressure to support her and a lover who looks strangely like Time the Avenger. Time, hear the bells chime.
Yeah, oh my goodness, Chrissy Hines, you sound so sad. What's going on here? You know, I mean, she's basically telling the truth, right? She's saying nothing is permanent. Anything can change at any time for any reason, right? Time the Avenger. So like time, if given enough time, anything is possible, really. Even your family and the love that your family is supposed to provide for you is not guaranteed, right? So I guess in her case, you know, she says, and with what you have left, you'll be forever under pressure to support her. So it sounds like the character in this specific story was cheating on, you know, her significant other, and basically got caught. So I don't really have much respect for that. But, you know, the way I look at it is, you know, she obviously loved this guy for a long time. They had kids together. And, you know, just over time, you start noticing the cracks in your significant other. Things start to annoy you. Maybe the intimacy kind of dies down a little bit. And, you know, after a long time, like some people are just susceptible to temptation. So I guess she was, or, you know, whoever's the main character in this song. So yeah, just give it enough time. Things can happen, and you know, you got to be ready to deal with the reality of life, I guess. But that's Time the Avenger. That's all I want to say about it. It's a really interesting sounding song as well. So let's move on to track number 4, which is called Watching the Clothes.
Watching the clothes go by. Oh, I've been working hard, trying to make some money. Would you like sour cream on your potato, honey? I've been kissing ass, trying to keep it clean, serving the middle class. Yeah, it's a clean routine. Watching the clothes go round, watching the clothes go round, watching the clothes go round, watching the clothes go round.
Yeah, I mean, we can all relate to this, right? She's working this dead-end job, just trying to make ends meet, trying to provide for her family or herself. You know, she might be just alone. But I like how she puts it. She's watching the clothes go around. So I imagine her in a laundromat, for example, just staring at it, staring at her clothes being washed, and just being like, you know, hypnotized almost, just losing. Just losing herself a little bit with her clothes swirling around. So she's kind of just like zoning out because her life is basically just this endless routine of tediousness and boredom. And so watching the clothes go around is like, you know, putting her in this trance a little bit, kind of getting her through the day. So this poor woman, you know, she's just struggling. She's just doing the bare minimum and trying to stay sane like the rest of us. You know, that's how I think about this song. But anyway, let's move on to track number 5, which is called Show Me.
Show me the meaning of the word. Show me the meaning of the word. 'Cause I've heard so much about it. They say you can't live without it. Welcome to the human race, with its wars, disease, and brutality. You with your innocence and grace, restore some pride and dignity to a world in decline. Welcome to a special place.
Yeah, again, so we have a character, you know, probably from the lower class, struggling to make ends meet, you know, doing a totally monotonous, tedious, boring routine every day. And it sounds like, you know, she doesn't really see what's so special about life exactly, right? So when she says, show me the meaning of the word, because I've heard so much about it, like it sounds like there wasn't much love going on in her life. You know, perhaps even parental love was not really there. You know, maybe she had a bad childhood, or her parents were like, you know, alcoholics or something. But it just sounds like her life is basically not very exciting. She lives in a very kind of sad, down and out part of town, maybe. You know, and so she doesn't really understand why life is such a great gift, you know, because in her experience, like, there's nothing really so great about it. So I guess she meets this guy, you know, who she says he seems innocent and he has some grace. So, like, this is one of the few people she's encountered probably who is capable of having her understand that there are things to look forward to, right? Life is not just all down and out all the time. Like, there are things that are really wonderful and special that she just apparently has not seen yet. So hopefully this guy can help her out a little bit, you know. Hopefully they can have a nice little romance, you know. But anyway, so that's Show Me. It's a really wonderful song. I like it quite a bit. But let's move on to the first track on side B. So this is track 6, Thumbelina.
Little baby, don't you cry. When we get to Tucson, you'll see why. We left the snowstorms in the thunder and rain. For the desert sun, we're gonna be born again. What's important in this world? A little boy, a little girl.
Yeah, so Christy Hind, her character as a kid, maybe a boy, maybe a girl, maybe both. And it sounds like, you know, as we've established in previous tracks, her life is not so great. There's not much that excites her. So it sounds like she's doing the one thing that might give her some hope, which is she's moving to Tucson, right? She's escaping the snowstorms of wherever that was. So like this is one of the few things that she could do, that she could afford to dream about, right? I mean, I'm assuming she's going to work at the same kind of job in Tucson, but at least it's like a newer place. You know, she doesn't know what it's like there. It could be really good. It could be really bad. You know, we don't know yet. She doesn't know yet. So the fact that she doesn't know exactly what it will be like, you know, is a good feeling on some level. You know, I can understand that. There's kind of bliss in not knowing, so to speak, right? Once you know, like, it's kind of hard to move on from there. But at least if you're ignorant, you know, you could be surprised. So yeah, I hope her life improves. I hope Tucson is really nice, you know. But that's Thumbelina. It's another really interesting song. I like it quite a bit. But let's move on to track number 7, which is called My City Was Gone. Yeah, so I kind of consider this to be a companion piece to Time the Avenger, right? Because even her hometown, wherever it was in Ohio that she's returning to, is no longer the same, you know. And for the worse, unfortunately, you know, she's saying that a lot of it has been reduced to parking lots. So clearly something bad happened, economically speaking. You know, maybe there's like a factory in town that shut down or something, and so now it's just like a wasteland, you know. So I guess in one hand, it's great that she moved to Tucson, you know. It sounds like that was the right move, I guess. But she's basically speaking of all of those small towns around the country where they, you know, they're only alive because of like one or two major businesses that are there. You know, like think of all the coal mine towns in Virginia, or as I mentioned, like the car factory towns in the middle of America. You know, so it sounds like her hometown was one of those towns where like one or two businesses was keeping it alive. And I guess while she went away to Tucson, they shut down or whatever. So that's kind of sad, you know, and it even sounds like her family's no longer there, which is also really sad. But I guess you would figure they'd keep in touch. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So that's My City Was Gone. It's another really cool song. But let's move on to track 8, which is called The Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
It's a thin line between love and hate. It's a thin line between love and hate.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and you're just getting in. You knock on the door, and a voice sweet and low says, "Who is it?" She opens up the door and lets you in. Never once asks, "Where have you been?" She said, "Are you hungry? Did you eat yet? Let me hang up your coat. Pass me your hat." All the time she's smiling, never once raises her voice. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, you don't give it a second thought. It's a thin line between love and hate. It's a thin line.
Yeah, this is just a perfect way to basically describe most relationships, right? You get to a point where you've been with someone so long that you're probably annoyed by a lot of the things they do, but you love them anyway. So you just kind of like deal with all of this stuff on the inside, right? You accept that like they got home late, or maybe they're a little drunk, or maybe they're doing something kind of annoying. But, as she says, she says in a sweet and low voice, "Who is it?" She never once asks where you've been. She just says, "Are you hungry? What do you want to eat?" So also, on some level, she understands that this guy probably doesn't like his life very much either, right? He's probably just barely getting by. So even though she kind of has a few things she's not too happy about, she understands the situation and is not going to be, too judgmental, or she's not going to like lose it over something like this. It's just kind of the way it is for her and her husband. She can't really do much about it. So I like this song quite a bit. And it also makes me think of the name of the album, which is Learning to Crawl, which I think ties into this very well. Because learning to crawl makes me think that like, if you were running through life, that would suggest that you're having a great time, but if you're crawling, if you're learning to crawl, then that means that you're just barely moving forward in your life, right? Which is what it sounds like is going on with this woman and her husband. They're just kind of barely eking out in existence, right? So I like to tie in the name of the album with this song and a lot of these songs. But anyway, that's Thin Line Between Love and Hate, another great song. But let's move on to track 9, which is called I Hurt You.
I've been wondering about your dependency. I've been wondering your defiance, how your dependency is a modern day mystery. Your idea of defiance is a modern day mystery. Arms and chest are cold when your back is on fire. And the only time you come clean is when you're talking to your buyer. So I hurt you, 'cause you hurt me. So I hurt you, 'cause you hurt me.
Yeah, so poor Chrissy, this relationship is just going down the tubes, right? The guy's cheating on her, so then she cheats on him. I hurt you, then you hurt me, right? But I love how she puts it. She says, your arms and chest are cold when your back is on fire. So like the arms and chest, I would interpret as like his way of showing intimacy towards Chrissy. And since they're cold, that means there's nothing there. There's just no love there. But his back is on fire because he's cheating on her, right, with all these people. So, like, I love the way she puts it. It's very poetic. But yeah, this poor couple is not gonna last very long. But yeah, that's "I Hurt You." That's all I want to say about it. So let's move on to the last track, 2,000 Miles. It's a really wonderful song. I think it was a single as well. So let's check it out.
He's gone 2,000 miles. It's very far. The snow is falling down. It gets colder day by day. I miss you. The children will sing. He'll be back at Christmas time.
Yeah, so that's the end of the album, 2,000 Miles. And it's kind of a romantic song. I like it. You know, they were hurting each other, cheating on each other in the previous song, but they do really love each other, even though their life isn't the greatest, right? The kids are singing on Christmas, asking when, you know, the husband's going to return from, you know, he's probably working somewhere 2,000 miles away. We don't know what he's doing exactly, but he's gone for the moment, and they're all missing him. You know, it's a very romantic song, I think. I really like it. And this is a little bit of a stretch, but I'm going to make it. So I think this album actually ties into the name of the band pretty well, because they're called the Pretenders. So on some level, these two people are pretending to be in this loving relationship, just a little bit, I would argue. So there's a lot of, and plus they're pretending that they're not cheating on each other and things like that. So I kind of like how, like, literally all of it ties together, you know, with the themes and the lyrics and stuff. I like it. But that's Learning to Crawl, you know. It's one of my favorite 80s new wave albums. I really love Chrissie Hynde's singing and lyrics. There's just so many great songs on this album. There's so many songs that sound like singles. It's pretty wild. So I just hope you guys thought it was interesting, you know. And as always, feel free to let me know your thoughts. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you had different interpretations, I'll check them out, you know. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It would really help me out. I enjoy making these for you guys, and I'll continue to do so. But yeah, that's the Pretenders. Check them out, and have a good one.